balanced anterior-posterior segment fluid flow to eliminate the scourge of posterior polar cataracts. It's a new device and it works like a dream. The problem has always been that with the slightest hydrodissection or even phaco fluid inflow, posterior capsule gives way, dropping the nucleus in the vitreous. The answer is, however, simple. Balance the inflow into the posterior anterior chamber so the posterior capsule remains static. Thus, there is no chance of a break. The tools: a simple three-way connection between the phaco handpiece and the fluid line to the posterior chamber. A short animation to explain how this procedure works. Essentially, the fluid line goes through the phaco machine and then diverts into two ends, one going to the phacoemulsifier and the other one going into the inflow, which goes in via the sclerostomy into the posterior chamber. Thus, the fluid inflow is divided. However, the speed of flow is reduced significantly when it enters into the posterior chamber using a little stopcock. Fluid inflows normally, the posterior capsule breaks and the lens fragments drops. On the other hand, if you can balance it, as you see now, with fluid both behind and in front, the posterior capsule remains static and the posterior polar cataract will no longer move. This is the setup as you have noticed. Notice the speed going into the posterior chamber is significantly slower than that going into the anterior chamber, controlled by the little stopcock which you see in my hand just now. When we start the procedure, we started with the stopcock closed so that we can manage to do the capsulotomy comfortably with no pressure. You start the procedure by applying a little cautery onto the conjunctiva and then utilizing a 23 gauge disposable sclerostomy inflow unit. You simply put it into the sclera 4 millimeters behind the limbus and connect in the fluid inflow line. But don't turn it on, leave it off at the moment. Start the procedure as you would do for any other cataract. Side ports on both sides, a little viscoelastic to keep the chamber stable, a 2.8 millimeter diamond knife giving a good entry into the anterior chamber, and a reasonable sized generous rhexis. I like using a forceps. I find it gives me much better results. Complete your rhexis, and it is at this stage, after the rhexis is complete, that you turn the stopcock, putting the fluid in to the posterior chamber. You do hydrodissection with fluid flowing into the posterior chamber. As you will notice, the lens stays static and actually comes forward a little because of the pressure from the posterior side. The risks of a rupture therefore are totally averted. And if you have the fluid inflow, that very slow drop by drop, one drop every second rate, you will have no difficulty. The phacoemulsifier then starts off, and if you will notice, the posterior polar zone, including the cataract zone, lies almost at the iris plane, supported by the pressure from the posterior end. You just have to take it easy, go a little slow. There is no risk of it ever breaking, so that part does not arise. Then you may do your IA comfortably. No hassles, no difficulty. Just take your time over it. The posterior inflow maintains it at all places, is not going to go anywhere. Complete your IA, and once that is complete, then the next important step is you remove the inflow which is there into the posterior chamber. Simply take it off. It's a 23 gauge self-sealing. You just tickle it a little, it closes itself. Bit of viscoelastic, and then you can inject your lens in. It's a very simple procedure. Since you support the posterior capsule, the risks of a breakage and dropping are significantly controlled. As a matter of fact, in the last 25 cases that we have done, We have seriously not even had one case where it fell in. But let me show it to you on a different case. This time concentrate on the posterior polar cataract. Notice the posterior capsule stability. The capsule with the posterior polar will remain static. It will flicker, but it does not move, showing that the balancing act really works. Once again, a posterior polar. Go obliquely and stick it in. 23 gauge disposable unit. Turn in attach your infusion line. Don't turn it on. Side ports and the main port. Rhexis. Generous Rhexis. You don't have to have a small one, is not required. Once the Rhexis is complete, then turn on the fluid. Notice the lens moving forwards automatically by itself. And at this stage, you can now do your phacoemulsification comfortably. Notice the posterior plane with the posterior capsule. It remains almost at the level of the iris. Doesn't go back, despite the fact that I am injecting in fluid from both sides. And because the inflow is at a very slow speed, it doesn't just erupt out, it just stays static. Keep looking at where the lens is. You will notice it just stays at its place. You can peacefully dissect. Looking at this cataract, you know that by any other means, this would have ruptured and you would have dropped your nucleus inside. But with this particular technique of balancing the anterior and posterior flow, this problem has been solved. You just have to remove the final cortical parts. You can even tickle the surface of the lens, and then as a last step, take it out and just gently smooth it over. Which, after injecting a bit of viscoelastic, this is a toric Zeiss lens which is being inserted. Patient had a toricity of almost 3 diopters, and if we were not so sure, we would never have been able to insert a lens of this nature. It's a simple principle. Balance the anterior and posterior chamber pressures. Gives devastatingly good results. You will never regret it.